Okay. Deep dive and Q&A is coming up. Let's see that we get some good stuff here and some good information. I'll go through the infos that we have on Midnight so far and make sure to have a comparison what we know before and what we know after. One sec though. So far I know the basics about Midnight and then I'm not sure. I know I will play it, so I have ordered it, but I'm not completely sold yet on all of it. But I'm one to be won over, so I don't need much convincing. I just want to know more about everything. So okay, so what we know now. Main features, I mean, new zones, blah, that's standard. Player housing. I mean, I'm not the most creative person. Like, I will be the equivalent of male living spaces when it comes to WoW housing, I think. I'm not gonna be very good at it. I have some plans of what I want to buy, that I want to build, not buy. But I like I will have a TV in the corner and a mattress on the floor probably, so it's not gonna be that fleshed out. Let's say it like that. I don't think I'm gonna be very good at it. But maybe I'll get into it. We'll see. New spec Devourer, mid-ranged DPS for Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter was never really my thing. I did some tanking on it, but the DPS one was always a bit not my thing. It was a bit too ADD for me. So yeah, we will have to see. I'm not super sold at it right now, but I have to play it to know anything about it. So let's wait for that. I don't. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all what's in here because it's all subject to change, to be determined. Whatever. Don't care. Void elves coming to Demon Hunters, which there's something missing here, but again, I don't really care a lot about Demon Hunters at the moment. New Harani allied race. It's an elf troll nature whatever, don't care. It's another race to play with No paladin, but everything else? No, almost everything. Go off, I don't care. Zones, subject to C in the beta and everything, we will see. Silver Moon City, I don't care about the, you know, your alliance, you're not allowed in this place, blah 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 blah, I don't care. It's a faction hub. If people don't like it, they're gonna go to Orgrimmar or to Stormwind. Literally does not matter. Move on. Zones. So Void Storm, max level zone. It's very purple. Like Omega purple. I'm not like, I hope it's not like the Maw or something like that. And I said the bad word, I'm sorry, but yeah. Hmm, hmm. Okay, free raid opening. Total 9 bosses. Last time we had a free raid opening was Kata? BRD. Yeah, Kata. Alakir. The one with Cho'Gall and Sinestra. I think it's Blackrock. I can't remember. And the Blackrock, the one in Twilight Highlands, and then the Blackrock one where you fight Onyxia and Nefarian with the amalgamation boss. That was fun. I mean, there were a lot more bosses in that tier, but them saying that the ultimate is hard and should be fun, hard and fun, is always a balance to find there. But we will see. The reschedule is, I don't care. It's gonna be awkward for the world first people, but that's like 150 people max. Who cares? Go off. Dungeons. Windrunner Spire. Sylvanas, maybe. Magister Ceres, okay, nice. New mount, hopefully. Anything else? Voidscar Arena. Murder Rose sounds interesting. All of this is, need to see it first. Delves, I love Delves. Delves are awesome addition to the game, so we will have to see. That they will be outside and you can mount up. It's gonna be awesome because I fucking hate walking around the delve. If it's a massive delve like this, the one that they added with the Undermine raid, the one excavation expedition something, don't care, very long, annoying, long. Valera as your delve companion, I mean, originally for the War Within, they said that they would change the companion every season. They stepped back from that, and now we have one per expansion, I guess. I don't see how Valera will tank. And I know she's a Blood Elf, but she's Alliance. So we had Bran, who's neutral, and now we have Alira, who is neutral. Yeah. Then Prey. I don't know anything about Prey yet. This is interesting. I guess they will test this in the Legion remix. I will not call it the Other World because it sounds stupid. Coming up next week. Like the normal and the hard world tier for this. And it sounds really interesting. It could be very underwhelming though. Like a rare pops up every 2 minutes or so and then tries to hunt you, or you run around in a zone to find a rare and kill it. Can be good, can be bad. We'll see. Need to see. It's gonna be probably, in my opinion, be a one and done feature if it's not really good. Need to see. Need to test it. New and returning player experiences, updates, and blah 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 blah. Excellence reach, don't care. Returning players, blah 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 blah. Don't care. No, doesn't apply to me. Catch up, don't care. Transmog updates, it's still not good. Like, why is it so fucking expensive? The fuck, 800, 900 gold for 1, 2, for free, 4 slots. What the fuck? Hmm. User interface updates, so bye bye WeakAuras, bye bye DVM, Bigwigs maybe. They will have something else, they will have something from their own. It's gonna be interesting. I look forward to this. I want to test this, I want to see this. I hope they do more than just, you know, boss mods and WeakAura stuff. Like, not WeakAura stuff, but you know. I hope they do more. PvP. I don't PvP, but this is literally nothing. I can understand when the PvPers say, hey, hello, we exist, please give us more. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can understand it. It's I would be frustrated as well, but you know, yeah. And that's all we know about Midnight so far. What I want to have more info on um, is Prey. I want to know more about the add-on stuff. I want to know more about some story stuff, to be honest. Like, for now, not Valeria, Xalitos invades Silvermoon, and then the Army of the Light, not the Army of the Light comes and saves Lawfamas and Liadrin's butt, which is okay, I guess. Could be bad, could be good. Yeah. I don't mind it much, but I want to know more about story stuff. I hope that they expand a bit on the age class stuff, and maybe, you know, announce the night, the other here, and then announce the additional horde race that can do it, which, you know, fairness, which Blizzard can't really do, but they try to most of the time. I hope they at least try to give them a more, yeah. And that, I mean, the deep dive will only be things that are already known. They will not announce new things. I guess, I don't think they will. I don't think they have much to announce. I hope they go a bit more into player housing, how we acquire things, the lumber stuff that they announce, like to craft things you need lumber. Do I need to go to Jenna and revive McGarrison or something? Like, what's up with that? I want to know more about that. I want them to address some quality of life changes in the game, like fuck Velostones, please remove them, fuck them off. Then I know they're not announcing new stuff, but I want a whole overhaul of the social systems in this fucking game. The fucking Guild Finder is awful. The Guild Tablet system has not been updated in 20 fucking years. For fuck's sake, please do something. Yeah, just you know, you want to make this game more of a multiplayer, more of a community. Doesn't even, like, it's an MMORPG. It's multiplayer, but make it more of a community-driven thing. Communities are fucking 1,000 people, and then it's cut off. Expand the community stuff. Give guilds more to work with. Update the fucking guild achievements. they haven't been touched since Mists of Pandaria, since they introduced the scenarios and then fucked them off again until BFA, whatever, Delves, not Delves, Islands, evergreen content. Guilds will always be a thing. Give them stuff to do. Please. Guild achievements, guild challenges, something like that to give back a sense of community in this game. For fuck's sake, please. Yeah, that's my hope. Now, let's turn off the music and listen to Ian and Holly, and I forgot the name of the other woman. Oh. Hi. It's a bit loud. Whoa.
Untold power.
Now.
We've seen her siphon the energies of Dalaran, and even those of the
not
black
so
blood
loud anymore.
beneath
Okay, now let's see.
Ashkahet. And recently, Xal'atath assumed the power of the last Void Lord, Dimensius. So the question remains, what will she do?
Ooh, love my
with all
picture in the back.
that power?
Can
And
we
what
spot
are
anything
her
in the back? Let's
intentions
see. Midnight
relative
Collector's Edition,
to
okay.
our precious
More?
World Soul? So
More.
now, as midnight descends, and the second, darker chapter of our trilogy begins, Xal'atath has returned to Azeroth, leading an army known as the Devouring Host, intent on snuffing out the light of the sun.
Not sure if I like that name.
And plunging the world into darkness. You, the heroes of Azeroth, will be set on a collision course with Xal'atath to save not only Azeroth itself, but everything that is.
Gotta sit upright for this. Let's see. Deep dive. It's very pretty. Let's say that it's very pretty, but
Hi,
it's
everyone.
always pretty. Hi,
As
Ian.
we kick off our Midnight Alpha, we'd like to give you all a deep dive into what's in store. We want to recap everything we've
Want
shared
this.
so far, along with some brand new details. Today we're going to talk about the story of Midnight, as well as the zones, dungeons, delves, and raids that await if you want to save our world from Xal'atath. We're also going to talk about some big new features coming in Midnight, like Prey and the Devourer Demon Hunter specialization. And of course, let's not forget housing. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always, thank you for being a part of this amazing community, for choosing to spend your time in Azeroth and with each other. Now, without
Rework
further
social
ado,
systems.
let's see what's in store for our home away from home. After all,
Yes.
it's nearly midnight.
Jesus.
The void storm rages in the sky, a surging vortex of shadow and chaos. Xal'atath has returned. Wielding the dark heart, she carves a path of destruction through once tranquil lands. Her all-consuming goal, devour the heavens, blot out all light, and bring about her midnight. It is in the shadow of this swirling storm that the defenders of Azeroth must rally once more. For peace, for the light, for the good. This is not a battle. It is a reckoning. At the Sunwell, that eternal bastion of light and hope, Lady Liadrin and Lor'themar Theron lead the Blood Elves as they prepare to make their final stand. Because across all worlds and all stories, one thing never changes. Home is worth fighting for.
Oh, the
Welcome
mob callback
to
is good.
World of Warcraft, Midnight.
Defending
Your
Quel'Thalas.
story begins
Revenge?
on the Isle of Quel'Danas. In the immediate aftermath of Xal'atath's invasion, the Sunwell surges with light, calling out to all heroes of Azeroth for aid, while the vile creatures of the Void wage a relentless assault in the hopes of extinguishing it once and for all. Flying monstrosities attack from darkened skies, and malign foes manifest without warning to wreak havoc across the plateau. Stand true with the champions of Azeroth as they mount a desperate defense against this invasion. For if the Sunwell falls, so too does the world. The defense of the Sunwell leads you directly into Silvermoon City. But not the
Looks
one you
good.
know.
I like it.
The renewed light of the Sunwell symbolizes Silvermoon's revitalization, shining over a city fully restored to a thrumming, living capital. Familiar landmarks gleam with fresh polish, while new areas like the Sanctum of Light and the Garden of Remembrance offer countless nooks and stories to explore. Inside the city walls, the threat of Xal'atath's war draws the Alliance and Horde into wary cooperation, with shared spaces hosting
people will
common
be
services like
not
traders,
happy about
the
this.
auction house, vendors, and more. Around a third of the city remains off-limits to those under the Lion's banner, so the Alliance allegiant should tread lightly or risk being attacked on sight.
Oh, people will be so
Outside
pissed
the
about
city
this
walls,
again.
however, is where your role in the fight against the Void really begins to take shape. The strength of the Sunwell infuses Eversong Woods with restorative energy, healing much of the damage of wars past and filling the zone with new growth and new life. All of what you remember of this lush, thriving forest is here. But Eversong is also a reimagined landscape of increased scale and greater beauty. Most noticeably, the Ghostlands and Eversong Woods are now joined into one large zone, which is itself joined to the Eastern Kingdoms.
I want to see the new
Eversong's
Ghostlands.
flourishing fluorescence is not without complication. Though the Sunwell's light is a boon to the environment, its surging power causes pockets of light bloom, small groves of light-enriched growth, to experience surges of their own. The light bloom's rampant propagation, if left unchecked, threatens to smother all life under an overgrown tangle. Your adventures through Eversong will have you investigating the light bloom, dealing with the aftermath of a Hawkstrider chick gone wild, helping a suspicious apothecary with questionable motives, untangling the secrets of two feuding nobles, and even getting caught up in a sinister murder plot, alongside Magister Umbric as he works to crack the secrets of the Void. It is up to you how your story progresses beyond Eversong Woods, with 3 available paths you can tackle in any order.
Okay, that's
Brave
good.
the ancient
I
troll
like that.
kingdom of Zulaman,
I still hope
investigate
there's
the
a red
world's
string
hidden
through
roots
all of it
Harandar,
though.
or accompany Arator on his journey to better understand the light, the void, and himself.
Can you get a new haircut, please?
Zulaman finds the Armani Troll Empire at one of its lowest points. The homeland of warlord Zul'jin, Zulaman was once a place where Loa bestowed to the Armani their godly strength, and were devoutly revered in kind. The temples still stand, weathered but proud. The eagle, the lynx, the dragonhawk, and the bear. Ascend windswept skyscraping peaks.
I hope they
explore
don't fuck
ruins
this up.
shrouded in fog. Traverse stormy wilds teeming with vicious beasts. And accompany Zuljara, granddaughter of Zul'jin, and the pragmatic pillar of strength now leading the Armani, as she seeks a means to save her people from void-aligned cultists and the monsters they revere. The Armani are invaluable allies in the defense against Xal'atath's invading force. If you help them fight for their home, they will help you fight for yours.
Why no Horde allied race
At the
then?
confluence of the world tree's roots lies an impossible primordial jungle known as Harandar. It is here that Azeroth's entire history wraps, twists, and braids, a literal entanglement of all that has been.
Give
and
the Harani
all
to the
that
Lions
will
and
be.
give the Horde
Harandar is
the
a land
Zulaman
of
trolls.
magical, powerful growth, fungal towers, glowing moss bridges, and entire villages sprout from Harandar's wild, organic fabrics. The pulsing heart of this knotted tangle is the Cradle, once the domain of a nascent goddess, long vanished, and now the home of the Haranir, who have for generations lived secretly under its soothing light. The reclusive Haranir are a proud and insular people. They have long avoided interfering in matters of the world above, but Xal'atath's destructive ambition does not stop at the surface, and the Haranir can no longer afford the luxury of neutrality. There is another way you can help with the defense of Azeroth against Xal'atath's cruel machinations. Accompany Eretor, son of Turalyon and Alleria Windrunner, on a continent
That haircut is awful.
in the hopes of bolstering the Sunwell and strengthening the vanguard of the light. This story-driven adventure finds you traveling with Eretor as he searches for sacred relics and attempts to peel back the mysteries of the Void, all while grappling with his own relationships to his family and the light. Eretor's mission brings new experiences to familiar locations. Defend Light's Hope Chapel from an attack by Scourge forces. Fight through the darkened corridors of Scarlet Monastery.
Again?
To rest those who would pervert the light for their own nefarious gain. And work with Sunwalker Desco in Hammerfall to help Eretor in discovering the paladin he aspires to become. Eretor's story reaches its climax in the shadow of Blackrock Mountain, where alongside the Sons of Lothar, he must face the weight of his father's legacy and decide once and for all whether he is willing to rise to meet it.
And why are we burning a hot
raging
flag
center
again?
of an unraveling shadowy maelstrom, and the epicenter of Xal'atath's power, Voidstorm overflows with violence, chaos, and hostility. Storm fields twist and fold its space. Gravity becomes untethered and tethers again. Insatiable void creatures known as Dominar stalk the storm, each one as unique and ancient as it is hateful and hungry. They carry on their eternal hunt for power under the black gaze of 3 enormous nexus points, hubs of the malicious dark energy Xal'atath draws upon to fuel her void spar and conduct her unyielding assault against the Sunwell. Join Azeroth's champions and the Void Elves in their quest to understand what powers this storm
The
and
Lightforge
stave
dude.
off its approach.
Yeah, but what's her
Though
end
much of the
goal
world of
now?
Midnight lies in the ominous shade of the encroaching void, there is at least one refuge for the weary, the Arcantina. What began as a hidden sanctuary is now a not-so-secret tavern haven for Horde and Alliance alike. A big, cozy space filled by music, chatter, and life. If the void is the bleak and the cold, the Arcantina is its opposite. A warm spark in the heart of every patron. It is a place to gather with friends, find the perfect comfy sitting room, or just soak in the atmosphere of a well-traveled watering hole. As a crossway for people of all kinds, the Arcantina also serves as a source of new adventures. Familiar faces stop by here and there, spinning stories and offering quests that send you far across Azeroth in search of relics of the past. Follow the course they set for you to discover a fresh perspective on familiar locations.
I like this. I like this a
Xal'atath
lot.
is determined in her destiny, an unrelenting foe with an army that never sleeps. But you can't live every
hi,
moment in
Khadgar.
grim resistance. The Arcantina is always here, should you find yourself in need of a little respite. The mysteries of the origins of the Void and the knowledge and power to stop it are not to be found only on the surface. For true deliverance, as always, hides in snarled labyrinths, looming temples, deadly ruins. These delves, dungeons, and raids are the real font of power, the sacred and defiled spaces from which strength is not just earned, but taken. Across this void-darkened world hide myriad delves overflowing with incalculable danger. Located on the Isle of Quel'Danas, Parhelion Plaza is an outdoor delve that drops you into the heart of the defense of the Sunwell. Fight against the surge of the Void's attack by restoring Parhelion's defenses, commanding an artillery of light, ducking into pocket dimensions, and putting down Gladius Slana, a Dominar who uses summoned Voidwalkers as weapons against your stand. expect to plunge the depths of 9 other delves and 1 seasonal nemesis delve when Midnight launches. You do not have to face these delves alone. Valeera Sanguinar is a powerful new companion with a rogue-minded approach to problem-solving. As a DPS, her killing spree ability has her moving through the shadows to lash out at multiple enemies. As a healer, she uses vampiric reaping to rip away the life force of enemies into orbs you can collect to heal. And as a tank, she uses your first mistake to taunt and do damage over time to any enemy that turns their back on her to attack her ally. Valeera is also a prolific provider of poisons that, depending on her role, empower you with more damage, better avoidance, increased speed, and more.
She could be better than Bran if they give
Your
her an
adventures in Midnight
AI
eventually
update.
lead you down darker
Please.
paths that end in overgrown corridors and ruin-stricken relics, forgotten places of powers best left unstirred. Yet these dungeons promise plunder worthy of the peril, should you have the courage to overcome the challenges within. Windrunner Spire, the former residence of the Windrunner family, haunts the skyline of Eversong Wood's western shore. The strained relationship of its namesake sisters, Varisa, Sylvanas, and Ilaria, imbues its halls with a sullen, spiteful energy. The restless spirits bound to this animosity threaten all who draw near. Among these spirits walks the Windrunner's sole brother, Lirith, who needs
Okay,
your help in
okay.
quelling this restlessness and clearing his once great home of hate. Serenity, however, is not so easily claimed. There are other forces that seek dominion over this domain. Emberdawn, a fire-colored dragonhawk, claims the dilapidated gardens of the Spire as a nest for her young.
Leave
She
her.
is fiercely territorial, answering intruders with both talon and
She's
flame.
in garden. Who cares?
The
Leave her.
derelict duo comprised of the Banshee Callis and her loyal abomination Latch lead a band of fanatical undead in a hunt for relics tied to Sylvanas. They meet outside interference with a mix of shadowy magic and brute strength. Commander Krolok, a merciless orc who oversaw countless conquests during the Second War that took Lirath Windrunner's life, stalks the Spire with an insatiable bloodlust. Since being slain in vengeance by Ilaria, Krolok knows only torment and the desire to pass it on. The restless heart, a concentrated whirlwind of grief and suffering, born from the conflict of the Windrunner sisters, envelops all who remain in turbulent turmoil. This swirling spectre takes the form of a ranger, combining the power of the wind with volleys of arrows to cut down the uninvited. Windrunner Spire was, at one point, a living embodiment of family and of legacy. With the help of Lirath and your allies, you can make it so once more. 7 more dungeons await you in Midnight.
Okay,
each one
Windrunner Spire
crawling with the
sounds
cutthroat and the
interesting,
craven.
but mainly because
Magister's
I
Terrace
want to know
and
the lore
Murder Row
behind
in
it more.
Eversong Woods, the Den of Nalorak and Mysara Caverns in Zolaman, Blinding Vale in Harandar, and the Voidscar Arena and Nexus Point Zenith in Voidstorm.
Great. Okay,
The
now
most
the interesting
tyrannical
stuff.
antagonists of Azeroth work their dark deeds from within Midnight's 3 new raids. The Void Spire, where 6 bosses hold court over the heart of the Void, and muster against the amassing vanguard of the Light as it readies to storm the walls of Xal'atath's stronghold. The Dream Rift, where you must join in the hunt for an undreamt god that never should have been, and put down half-birthed abominations that lash out against existence.
I hear
itself.
Druid Legendary.
And the march on Quell Danas, an encounter still shrouded by the fog of war, beyond the known presence of Beloren, the void-corrupted phoenix, who stakes a ceaseless watch over the entrance to the chambers
And the
beyond.
last boss?
The void threatens to end all of Azeroth, to rend the world in the squall of a black tempest. But the extraordinary power it carries does provide opportunities to those heroes willing to embrace it. Devoured demon hunters bend the void to their will, ripping
Let's
void
see.
fragments from their enemies and using them as the power source for cataclysmic spells.
Oh.
They are mid-range damage dealers, armed with a summonable void scythe, darting in and out of the fray as they dance on the line between control and chaos. Voidblade and Hungering Slash work in concert. Dash into melee range to deliver a series of crushing void-side attacks. Then use Vengeful Retreat to escape the enemy's reprisal.
Oh, you can
You
cast
can
on the
also
move.
start this
Okay,
combo off
best
with
class.
the Void-charged The Hunt. Metamorphosis transforms you into a familiar state of cursed power. The more you feed it, the longer it lasts. Ride the wave of annihilation by tearing apart souls and staying alive. Reap is
Sounds a
sweeping
bit like
side
Surrender
attack
to Madness.
that consumes all of your soul fragments for one massive burst of damage. Use Void Ray to cut through enemies in a straight line and leave them smoldering. Collapsing Star channels the immense energy of a dying star, focusing it into one single destructive blast. The more you cast it during your Void metamorphosis, the stronger it gets. Demon Hunters also find themselves with new disciples in Midnight. Void Elves are sharpening their warglaives and joining the hunt.
And Horde?
Newly awakened to the dire threat of Midnight, the Haranir join the fight for the surface as the next playable allied race.
Don't care.
Haranir are deeply entwined with the organic world. Theirs is a culture shaped not by cities or by conquest, but by the roots, the stones, the quiet pulse of the deepest breath of the world. Their armor, their weapons, their skin, all are infused with the inner light of organic power. Even the mightiest primordial predator in
Vegan
Haranir
Night Elves. I don't
knows
know.
to fear
I
the
don't care.
telltale luminescence of a
Move on.
Haranir's markings in the dense jungle brush. They are primal, ferocious hunters, a force of nature unto themselves, who possess the racial ability to travel along the roots of the world, from Harandar to any world tree, or from anywhere back to Harandar. Haranir are versatile warriors, who can choose from a wide range of paths, including those of the warrior, hunter, rogue, priest, shaman, mage, warlock, monk, and druid.
No
The
Death
last
Knight,
of
no
which has
Paladin.
all new forms that reflect the Haranir's unique connection to those hidden parts of the earth. Prey is a secret opt-in
Okay.
initiative run out of Silvermoon City by Astalor Bloodsworn, a blood elf with what some might call a colorful past. Astalor is after one thing: Anguish, a powerful magic siphoned from Azeroth's deadliest threats. And
He
he's
would be a
offering
raid
generous
boss
compensation
at
for
some
heroes
point.
who are courageous or foolhardy enough to go chase it. Astalor's lair in Murder Row is your base of operations for Prey, the place where you pick your targets, track your progress, and collect your rewards, including cosmetics, mounts, titles, and housing items. The deeper you go, the harder the challenges, and the more you unlock. Prey has 3 difficulties. Normal, which serves as an introduction to the system, along with offering plenty of challenge. Hard, where the ambushes get meaner and the encounters more intense. And Nightmare, which is just about the fastest way to gain intimate knowledge of Midnight's many new and scenic graveyards. Prey
Okay.
can ambush you at any time, whether you're questing, exploring, or minding your own business. Each time you defeat your target, you increase your advantage by tiring them out and buying time to find whatever dark hole they're hiding in. Higher difficulties incorporate torments, personal afflictions that only impact you. Torments cause a wide range of effects, like creating an AoE damage puddle under recently deceased foes, or haunting you with a bloody spirit that deals lethal damage when it catches you. A torment can also manifest in the form of Astalor's impatience, forcing you to make a kill within a specific time limit before Astalor simply extracts his payment from you.
I don't like that.
Prey targets are all different, and all deadly. Magister Sunbreaker, a disgraced blood elf whose reckless magic is a threat to Silvermoon and everyone near it. High Vindicator Vareem, a zealot who believes the Void can only be defeated by covering the entire world in holy flame, and is ready to put that belief to the test. Executor Canius, a sadistic dominar whose primary hobby is murdering anyone foolish enough to challenge his martial prowess. Prey is a way to add excitement, unpredictability, and challenge to your journey through Midnight. But be warned, there's a reason Astalor isn't chasing these targets himself.
He's a bitch.
For those who tread the warm paths and soaring skyways of Azeroth, it is more than a world, more than story, character, or conflict. Azeroth is, and always will be, home. Housing in Midnight is dedicated to that ineffable feeling of being part of something bigger. of
Don't
something
fuck this up,
greater, of living a real
please.
life as a true part of a real world. Housing in WoW is built to give you boundless self-expression in the place you call yours. Collect hundreds of decorations and dive deep on customization. Place, rotate, scale, and move items to your heart's content. This is more than changing a coat of paint or choosing a different picture frame. It's a sandbox for your imagination. World of Warcraft has over 2 decades of content, and the time you've spent in Azeroth over the years will yield a bounty of housing rewards. Milestones like completing your Legion Order Hall campaign or finishing completionist achievements like Back to the Beyond will award housing items post facto. You'll
What's
also
Back to the
earn
Beyond?
decor
Let's check
through
it.
Dungeons and raids, reputation vendors, achievements, quest lines, housing endeavors, the auction house, holidays and live events, and crafting. All professions from all expansions can craft decor. Search the world for lumber, a new gathering resource, and use it to craft decorations that can be bought and sold on the auction house.
Back to the
Many
Beyond is the
housing-specific
fuck off.
items
No,
can be done,
I'm not doing
giving you
that.
greater control of the finer
Back to
details
the
of
Beyond is
decorating.
the Shadowlands
Imagine
meta.
your dream home. Collect and craft the decor to bring it to reality. Then tweak it until it is just right.
A die
Floor
system.
plans are flexible. You can rotate
Where
and
could we
stack
use
rooms to
that?
create multi-floor structures. A
Please.
variety of room types and shapes are available, including normal squares and rectangles, L and T hallways, as well as some more fantastical configurations. Advanced mode takes the toolset even further, allowing you to adjust each piece of decor exactly as you want. Rotate, float, scale, and more to make your home a perfect reflection of your taste. And that's just the inside.
Can I import
The
things?
outside of your house is also customizable. Place your home how you want it on your plot. Add fountains, statues, planters, and more. Change out your windows. Pick the perfect chimney. Add a tower, and decide on the door of your dreams. Exterior plots also have the same advanced mode as interiors for even more modification. At Midnight's official launch, you'll have a choice between exterior themes based on orcs, humans, blood elves, and night elves. These aren't just skins, they're full architectural styles with unique customization options. Orc homes feature hide rooftops, bonfires, and rugged surfaces. Human homes are rustic, with sturdy stone walls, warm wooden floors, and colorful banners. Level up your house to unlock more flexibility. New rooms and floors, bigger house sizes, increases in the number of spots for decor, and more. Every house is in a shared zone known as a neighborhood, where you and others can show off your homes, build community, and participate in rolling challenges to earn housing rewards. Neighborhoods feature a wide variety of biomes, from spooky forests and coastal plains in Founders Point to lush oases and windswept bluffs in Razorwind Shores. All contain different kinds of plots. Some are secluded and quiet, while others are clustered for the socially vibrant. Your neighborhood is faction-coded in its aesthetics, but not faction-exclusive in its residency. You have the choice between 2 types of neighborhood. Private neighborhoods where guilds or groups of friends can form their own space. Public neighborhoods where you'll find a home among friends you haven't met yet. Private neighborhoods come in 2 varieties. Guild neighborhoods, which scale to fit your guild roster, and charter neighborhoods, which are capped at 50 homes and are perfect for tight-knit communities. Endeavors are monthly neighborhood-wide activities that bring everyone together to complete tasks, unlock themed decorations, and contribute to helping your neighborhood evolve. Participate in endeavors to earn House XP and community coupons that give you access to exclusive decor.
This
Above
could
all,
be good,
housing
could
is
be
designed
shit.
to help you
Need
find
to
your
see.
perfect space and transform it to your own fantasy haven. To create your own home, sweet home.
This is touch and go.
And
We will
there
need
you
to
have
see.
it. Thank you so much on behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team for joining us for this overview of Midnight. And if after what you just saw you can't wait to get your hands on housing, don't worry, because it's coming your way if you have Midnight in early December of this year. Thank you again, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
More? You don't even talk about PvP, you just... There's PvP. We mentioned it, fuck off. What the I don't PvP, but... okay, low walker updates are cool. Transmog updates. Apex Talents didn't even get a big mention, just happens. UI improvements, okay, yeah. Cooldown manager, okay.
Friends, we hope you've enjoyed this deeper look at Midnight. But as you can see, this fight is far from over. The drums of war thunder once again.
Yeah,
And
but not...
Azeroth needs her champions, now more than ever.
You always say that. Okay. Now, QA in now. Should be starting now. Okay, so let's recap a bit before they start. I liked what I saw about Delves. I think I got 10 minutes. Okay, let's mute that. Okay. So, quick recap. I liked what I saw about Demon Hunter. I'm not sure it's my class. We'll have to see. Let's get rid of that. The housing stuff could be very interesting. The endeavors could be shit. They need to really check that that's good. I'm a bit iffy on that. Need to see. Jesus, I forgot already. The dungeon, like the Windrunner Spire thing, I want to know because of lore. I want to know more about the last raid. I hope they address PvP stuff in this. They need to, because literally didn't even like. Okay, there's a new epic battleground. Fuck off! Don't mention me anymore. Like all of it. Not super happy about that. Yeah. I hope with the housing unlocks that they went back further. Like I did a lot of completionist stuff in the past. I hope they added a lot of stuff, and that I really hope it's good. I'm gonna be the equivalent of a mattress and a TV in the corner, but I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. We will have to see. Yeah. Now, I submitted a lot of questions. I don't think any of them will be in here, but we can hope. Yeah. We will see. I really hope it's gonna be good. Okay, let's see if Wowhead says anything special. You know, they sometimes are a bit too fast about things. They already know the Mythic Plus. What the fuck? Okay. Academy. Seat of Trimivate. Okay. Skyreach from Warlords. Pit of Saron? Okay. I wanna do Pit M+. I haven't done M+ since Legion, but I wanna do Pit in M+. What the fuck? I please. If they're doing raft dungeons as M+, ooh, Pit, they can't do halls. If they do the fucking dragon flying bullshit dungeon, I bet they're gonna put it in a community vote and people will be so stupid and vote for it. I'm trying to think. What here? The troll dungeons in Wrath were really good. Can't do the Nerubian one because it's time gated the last boss. Well, you can, but yeah. I want to see the Azure Nerub dungeon SM+. I really want to see that. Okay, now I'm trying to think. Maybe BC Time Walk, not Time M+. BC M+. Botany. BC M+. The one with Anzu could be interesting. There's a bunch of really fucking awful pulls in there. I mean, if they do classic and plus fucking be Blackout Depths, lower or upper or both together, it's gonna be fucking awful. Ragefire Chasm M+. Go ahead, Blizzard, do it. I wanna see it. You know what? I want Ragefire Chasm M+. Fuck it. Yes. I'm Team Ragefire Chasm M+. I want to see it. Let's do it. Need to start the petition. I'm trying to think about dungeons. Dungeon. Database. Sounds. Database, Wowhead, instances. Fuck Molten Core. Don't care about Molten Core. Dead Mines. Fucking yeah, Dead Mines M+. Do it. Wrath. No, here. Hellfire Ramparts. Nah. Cephalic Halls M+ would be awesome. And maybe... I mean, they're bringing Magister Ceres back, so that's gonna be no. Utgard Keep, Gundrak, Halls of Lightning, Forge of Souls. Forge of Souls M+ sounds okay. I'd do that. Trial of Champion is a no. Burning Crusade. Mana Tomb could be really good. Sunken Temple M+. Could be fucking awful. What about Skolo? Skolo M+? Skolo M+ could be cool. Diamol, fuck. You know what? Just for the lulz, I want Diamol M+. But Pit, I'm gonna do M+. Fuck it. I want to do Pit M+. I'm sure the community will be very happy about Siedem of Tirnvate for M+. I mean, it's gonna be okay. Could be worse. So, let's see what they bring. I hope it's gonna be good questions. I further hope that they're not gonna fuck up everything. Okay, so do they have anything more Wowhead before they start here? They're gonna have a waffle for a minute before they start answering questions. Anything else? Wowhead is dying. Wowhead is dead, actually. No.
Oh, we are live. Welcome to the World of Warcraft Midnight Q&A. I'm Randy Jordan, and I go by Kyvax on the Warcraft community team. We recently asked WoW players on
You're not
forums and
lore,
social
I don't
media
care.
sites to submit questions, and you delivered. So, we've got 3 leaders of the WoW development team here. Please introduce yourselves.
That pin is massive,
Hi,
though.
I'm Ian Hasekostas,
If
Game
it's a
Director of
pin.
WoW.
Hi, my name
Ian.
is Paul Cubit. I'm Associate Game Director on World of Warcraft, working on the Midnight expansion.
Hi, I'm Maria Hamilton. I'm the Design Director for WoW.
We got a lot of questions, and I want to get right to them. We're going to start with some housing questions. So, Cyglaive on the forums asked, it actually said, during a Gamescom interview, it was mentioned that Horde players would be able to use Alliance-style housing exteriors and vice versa. However, in a recent blog post, it was stated that the housing styles would be faction-locked. Can we get clarification on that?
Yes, there was a bit of confusion definitely around the Gamescom messaging there. As we just saw in the deep dive video, the neighborhoods ultimately are anchored in specific locations in the world. If
It's
you are
live,
in
by the way.
Alliance neighborhood,
Very
you're
live.
on the outskirts of Stormwind in the Elwyn area. If you are in the Horde neighborhood, you're on the outskirts of Orgrimmar. While private neighborhoods can be cross-faction, you can have your guildmates, you can have your friends of the opposite faction move in, the general setting, the exterior houses there are going to reflect the location. The NPCs that are wandering around the neighborhood, again, are
I don't
anchored in
have
that place
a
in
big
the world.
expectation on this Q&A, mainly
Maybe
because
something that we revisit down the line,
I've
but
seen a
for the
lot of
time
WoW
being,
Q&As, and it's
if
always
you're in the
questions
Horde
like,
neighborhood, the
can
house
I get
exteriors need to
Transmog X from
reflect
Weapon
the Horde aesthetic.
Epsilon, or
Take that up with the Orgrimmar HOA. is what we say.
it's like,
Speaking of things wandering around, a player named Hey Hey on the EU Spanish forums asked, I know there are plans for combat pets to appear in housing. Are there also plans for hunter pets?
Yes, so pets are something in general that we're working towards. At release in Midnight, battle pets won't be available to be placed just yet. I think something that we need to solve to make that work on the engineering side is actually making sure that they can path and move comfortably around.
So you can
configuration of
add
objects
pets,
might
maybe you
have
can
in
add
place in your
alts.
home or in your yard. So we are planning on delivering that shortly after launch. Alongside that, we do want to add the ability to place your mounts in your mount collection. If you want to, have them on a hitching post in your yard, that's something we'd love to deliver as well.
no, I'm gonna hang
Hunter
them
pets
from
are
the
probably
ceiling.
Trickier. Those are character specific, and housing is an account-wide system really tied to your warband, and so pulling from a specific character's hunter pet stable would probably be much more challenging. I'll never say never, but that's not in the plans currently.
Decor. Bjorky on Reddit asked, how will the trading post housing items work? Let's say there's a chair on the trading post. Will we have to buy the chair multiple times if we want a set of 4 in our house? Will there be a 10-chair bundle for a set price? Or will the purchase give us infinite amount of chairs?
Please,
This is something we
infinite.
spent a good amount of time thinking about. There's going to be lots of ways that you can get decor starting in 11.2.7 and then into Midnight through achievements, through crafting, through completing just the campaign of Midnight and so on.
Infinite.
And we ran into a lot of the same questions that you asked, the person who asked this question.
Yes.
Yes, and for that reason, we're actually just not going to have them on the trading post, at least for the first few months. There should be plenty of other ways that you could start gathering decor for your house. And then you won't have to make that hard decision between, do I want this chair versus this cool mount or cool transmog.
Okay.
Another question comes from Xanther on the forums. Xanther asked, how will outdoor housing plots work? If I want a certain plot and it's taken, do I have the option to try another instance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Essentially, when you want to move house, you're just going to say, yep, it's time to move. It's all going to get packaged up for you. Paul likes to say that a mage comes along and puts it into an arcane ball for you. Don't know if that's actually, you know.
That is what happens.
Oh, totally. Okay. And then you can go to wherever you'd like to sort of deploy your house, and it just comes right back out of the bubble, set up exactly how you had it. So you can move around neighborhoods, you can move around different plots within a neighborhood. Yep, totally transportable.
Right on. Celia on the German WoW forums asked, will there be updates to the guild system in Midnight?
I think most of the updates we see to the guild system are going to be in the form of neighborhoods. We expect to see a lot of guilds, especially guilds who are like playing a lot actively with one another, to build guild neighborhoods where you'll be able to.
Don't care about
live
neighborhoods.
alongside
Guild
one another.
system.
So instead of the the typical ways you're interacting with one another in WoW, whether that's raid nights, Mythic Plus nights, PvP, whatever it is you choose to do, so, you might also just start running into one another in the morning when you go out to get the paper. And so,
No.
really looking forward to seeing guilds build stronger connections.
Could have just said no.
I think the other
Fuck
systemic
off.
trappings to the guild system are something that we know is definitely due for a refresh. Guilds obviously have been there since the beginning, and there's definitely room
Ian?
for improvement. Our focus for
Ian?
Midnight, though, really was on the housing integration side of it, and the rest of the system is something we hope to get back to in the near future.
Okay.
A highly upvoted question
Last
on
Titan
Reddit
then,
comes
I guess.
from Chilligok. Chilligok asked, will we ever get another texture update for older races? Especially compared to Earthen, the hairstyles are outdated now.
We do have a couple which are coming in Midnight. As
Couple.
you complete the Amani campaign in Zulaman, you will be able to unlock some cool cosmetics for Darkspear Trolls, some cool hairstyles, and actually skin colors as well. And so if you have any Darkspear Trolls on your account, you play through the campaign, you'll be able to get some cool customizations. And this is one of the ways that we do try to approach this is as it's appropriate to the story. We'll look for cool ways that you can integrate cosmetics into your own character. That's not the only way that we might do this, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that we see as an issue to chip away at over time. We want to roll out extra customizations, hairstyles, you name it, for the existing races to continue to bring them up to parity with the very newest options. It's not something we're able to do all at once, but particularly where it makes sense and fits the story, we're excited to keep adding them. Our long-term goal is to get to a place where every race, whether brand new or one of the original ones, has roughly the same number of options.
Yeah, Nightborn are fucked.
So, as we just saw in the deep dive and going back to the Gamescom announcement, we have a system coming called Prey. And I have a couple of questions here about Prey. System of Cells on Reddit asked, will the Prey system make all mobs in the target zone more challenging, or only the Prey target plus world quests unique to that system?
Yeah, it will affect everything in the zone for you. So if you have chosen to go into the zone chasing a nightmare mode prey, everything is going to be much harder for you. It's based on an aura that's put on you, sort of like it's almost like an affliction in a way, or a torment. And as you move through that zone, it's going to be harder.
And the player in Prey is on their own?
They are when they finally wear down that boss, if it's in one of the harder modes. Then you need to go mano a mano. If it's in the normal mode, then the rest of the players in the vicinity can help you out.
Gotcha. The WoW creator Fandy asked, is the Prey system planned to be a part of the World Row in Vaults?
Yeah, in one way or another. As we build our expansion, one of the last things that comes in is specifics on rewards. So we don't have the specific details now, but when we do look at Prey, we look at it as similar in difficulty and sort of player activity to the types of things that you do in Delves. And Delves do take up that bottom row of the World Row in the Great Vault as well. So we do expect, if you're running Prey, you're going to see better rewards in that row in one way or another.
Good. I want to get to one of the most highly upvoted questions we saw across all channels. This is from Weird Dandom Ally on Reddit. And that
PvP?
goes, any plans to rejuvenate the glyph system?
Oh.
All classes could take advantage of it for class visual customizations like warlocks have with their pets and druids with their forms.
Yeah, so there isn't a glyph overhaul planned for Midnight at launch in particular, but the general question of more customization for spell visuals, transforms, things along those lines, that's one that we're also very excited about.
Soon,
Always looking to
TM.
offer more customization, more cosmetic self-expression where possible, and the glyph system is a great vehicle for this. It's not the only vehicle, but where it makes sense, that's definitely one of the avenues we would use.
Speaking of highly upvoted questions, we got a lot from the PvP community. I want to ask a few of those. So starting with KethCup on Reddit, the question is, do you have any plans on making PvP less daunting for new players?
We absolutely do, yeah. We're really excited to introduce a new feature called Training Grounds. This is a feature where players can enter battlegrounds fighting alongside other players against game-controlled opponents. So instead of fighting against other PvPers, potentially people who have been playing this mode much longer than you, who have better PvP gear than you, and are going to wipe the floor with you, you'll be able to fight against some opponents who you'll have a little bit more of a satisfying win rate against. And because of that, we think this will be a pretty good on-ramp for people who are PvP curious, who want to get into PvP, but feel like there's just too much of a steep on-ramp because of those daunting aforementioned players who want to wipe the floor with you. This is going to start with a couple battlegrounds that players will be able to jump into with Training Grounds, and we'll see where we go from there.
I think,
Okay.
we love PvP, broadly speaking. I think one of the challenges is it can be very daunting.
That pause.
The question
We love
implies,
PvP.
You're getting into PvP for the
Broadly
first time,
speaking.
You're in some cases jumping into a pool filled with sharks who've been doing this for 20 years. But there's so much, there's nothing quite like World of Warcraft PvP and that style of conflict, that style of combat. And so really our philosophical approach as we move into Midnight to really try to rejuvenate and grow the scene is to broaden the base of that pyramid so we can kind of lift the whole thing up and help all levels of it, whether you are the most hardcore person competing for titles at the end of every season. Everyone will be better served if people feel like they can actually enter this community for the first time.
I mean,
and
it's a good
discover what
approach.
is so
It's
great about
it's not
PvP.
going to be enough
That's
for the
all for
PvP
sure.
hardcores, but it's
Eventually.
at least something.
The PvP player and creator known as Supatees had the most highly upvoted question on our forums. He wrote, in the War Within, we saw major reward improvements and restructuring for Mythic Plus, which improved participation. Are there plans to look at the current reward structure for PvP, such as rating cutoffs
Maria, you
or
don't look
additional
comfortable.
rewards?
There are definitely plans to look at this. One thing I can say that will be changing at launch in Midnight and the first season of Midnight is that top tier cutoff coming down from 2,400 to 2,300 for those rewards and titles. I think looking at how MMR has evolved and how the rating ecosystem has played out, that's been a bit too exclusive even for some of our best players. Broadly speaking, beyond that, I think there's a lot more that we would like to do with the system. That's not necessarily going to be happening right at launch in Midnight.
Soon
If you look,
TM.
for example, at what we changed with Mythic Plus and new titles and new structure and things like the resilient keystone system in War Within, those changes came in War Within patches. So as we look to PvP and its evolution over the course of Midnight, that's definitely an area that we want to focus on.
Got another one. Zandant on the WoW forums wrote, will War Mode receive more well-needed attention? More activities like zone objectives or rotating events? Maybe a free-for-all treatment?
Yeah, we're adding a whole new area into the Voidstorm zone, a giant war mode area which reflects the same space as the Slayer's Rise Battleground. If you watched the deep dive video, you got to see that. That Slayer's Rise is also made manifest in the zone itself. And this is, if you've played war mode in past expansions, you know that we've taken a couple war mode areas and had maybe one in each zone, one in Ringing Deeps and one in Isle of Dorn, where PvP, when you enable war mode, you'll have some special, unique activities. We took all those and glumped them all together right into this Slayer's Rise area, and so there's going to be a huge PvP playground if you have war mode on, be able to do lots of cool world-class activities, reasons to just kill one another, and even if you don't have war mode enabled, there'll still be PvP-themed content for folks doing world quests up in that area.
Why would you not have war mode enabled?
That's a very good question.
I don't have PvP gear.
You're afraid of sharks.
Yeah, it's sharks.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you. So, MacLemente26 on Reddit asked a question that we saw a lot of, which is, when can we expect reputations from expansions prior to Shadowlands to become Warbound reputations?
I asked this question too.
So yeah, taking full accountability here. I know that when we rolled out the warbands, we said that we were going to work our way backwards through reputations.
And he's
We
not
haven't
gonna
made
do
progress
it.
as quickly as we would have liked. We got some of the Shadowlands reputations, but not the Covenant ones. This is something we're going to pick up and resume. I can't commit to a definite timetable.
Soon
but
PM.
in the long run, we don't want this, just internal disparity between how different expansions reputations are handled, and we'll continue to start with the most recent and work our way backwards.
Thank you. Sixten on Blue Sky said, War Within is the first WoW expansion without a legendary. Can we expect anything in Midnight, or is the team taking time to reevaluate what place legendaries have in the modern game?
I think we always want to avoid things seeming formulaic, where it's like, okay, you can expect it's a new season, there's going to be a new legendary, this is how it's going to work. Legendary
I like that they
should
changed
always
their
remain
attitude in
special.
that.
They should feel like these are items that have clear stories behind them and feel worthy of that special orange color. And yes, we're also looking always at issues with how they're awarded. We want to make sure they feel special, but also don't turn into something where it feels bad or grindy because they feel required if you want to be competitive. There's a fine line to walk there. There aren't currently any planned for the first tier of Midnight, but as we face certain foes down the line, it may make sense for some of the items that they yield to have that orange color, and we'll cross that bridge. when we get
Zalatev
to
will
it.
be once again Gnaifu.
I want to
Shadow
ask
Priest,
some
look forward to
more
it.
questions. So, as Mira asked, will we be getting any more background information on story regarding Lyrath Windrunner? Sorry. Any of the other Windrunner family members, perhaps?
Absolutely. I don't want to talk too much about patches, but certainly in Midnight, as we go into the Spire, you will have the opportunity to really get a brother's view of his sisters and an opportunity to learn a lot more about what happened and what's happening in that place. And I mentioned before, we're going to see the sisters.
And Grody Toady on Blue Sky wants to ask about trolls. So here come all the names. Where is Vol'jin's story in all of this? I'm hoping we find a way to weave Vol'jin, Talanji, Zul'jin, Rokan, Zul'Jan, and Zul'Jara into a cohesive story.
Rokan
about
exists?
Troll unity.
I don't
and
know. I've
cooperation.
seen it once.
Well, right out of the gate in Midnight, you're not going to see that combination of trolls, but you will see a combination of some trolls as we continue into patches and move forward. We're very much focused on what's going on with the trolls as
Troll
well as
raid
what's going on
confirmed.
with the Blood Elves. They have not always been on the best of terms for reasons. And there's definitely a story to be told about their relationship, and all of those folks come into that story.
Groxy on Blue Sky said, Midnight sees the Paladin forces of Azeroth fighting back the Void at the Sunwell. Can we hope to see more lore about the Tauren and Azeroth's sun god, Ansha? Eyes of the Earth Mother told us how he
Roxiga
and Illume
is
slash
about to go
Musha
insane.
fought possibly the Void in ancient Azeroth.
Well, we are going to hang out with Desco a little bit in the Eretor's Journey portion of our campaign at Midnight, and I feel like we certainly are going to look at how the Tauren view their mythologies, perhaps later in The Last Titan.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let's talk about add-ons.
High and dinner low.
WoW creator Polka TV said, given the upcoming removal of many boss mod tools, how do you plan to preserve the intended difficulty of encounters once these tools are no longer available?
So yeah, this is a great question. For some extra context, I think folks are going to see in the next day or two, as some of the media interviews we've done the last day go out, that we are rolling out so changes to the add-on API with the launch of Midnight. And so that is going to remove the ability for add-ons to read in real time combat state and combat information specifically. And one of the big reasons why we're doing this with the launch of a new expansion is so that we can really build all of our combat, our encounters, around that expectation, around this new ecosystem. As we've been discussing over the course of the year, really the main goal with this shift is to create a level playing field where external tools are no longer felt to be required in order to engage in the content, at a competitive level, and also to shift some of the things that we are testing when it comes to difficulty, maybe away from Twitch reactions and how quickly you can run to the circle or diamond marker that your add-on told you to run to, and rather to more of the collaborative coordination that have traditionally marked cooperative PvE in WoW. But the goal is to keep difficulty largely the same. In terms of how many pulls it takes to down a boss for your guild, whether you are aiming for ahead of the curve and defeating Heroic, or whether you're pushing into Mythic or whatever else, overall it should take you about the same amount of time to accomplish what you're used to accomplishing.
We will see if
just that
that
difficulty may come
is
slightly
true.
different places. Without add-ons to solve mechanics for you in real time, it may well be the case that we just need to give you a couple more seconds to get into place, or that there should be one fewer add to interrupt, or what have you. We are going to be rolling out, we're actually going to be launching Alpha with a raid boss available for testing early on. We have a ton of native improvements to the UI, like boss
She
timers, boss
really
alerts,
looks
so you
not
can see a
comfortable.
timeline of upcoming boss abilities.
Maybe the
gameplay
chair is
improvements,
uncomfortable,
cooldown
but
manager
she
improvements, and
doesn't look
more
comfortable.
to, again, kind of create a unified experience that's baked into the UI. But the goal at the end of the day is for difficulty to remain where it was, and we will be making tuning changes in alpha and beta, as well as, of course, once these encounters are live, to make sure that things are landing in the right place and players still feel well equipped to overcome the challenges in front of them.
Following that, Spedbros on Reddit asked, what is your plan for upkeep and development of these now built-in add-ons?
Yeah, so I think the functionality that we're pulling into the base UI is something that, as always, we're going to be evolving in response to player feedback. Again, part of why we're very excited to get people having a look at these right at the start of alpha is so that we have the entirety of the alpha and beta cycle to iterate on them before Midnight launches. And then, of course, as always, even after the game is live, we're going to continue to add functionality based on the player requests and the feedback that we're receiving.
Ossicrond on the WoW forums said, sculpting your UI over the years is almost like working on a classic car. Fine-tuning with different fonts, color palettes, and even different types of glow alerts. What is the depth of the available customization, and are there plans to expand it in the future?
So there's a couple of facets to this question. First off, couldn't agree more that I think UI customization and using add-ons to tailor the aesthetic of a UI, how information is presented and where it's presented, I think are one of the hallmarks of the WoW experience and really one of the strengths of the game for going on 21 years now. There are no plans to eliminate or remove that. The approach we've taken in changing the way the add-on API works really is just focused on access to that real-time information. There'll be details coming out very soon from our UI engineering team on exactly how this works, but whereas in the past when we have restricted aspects of what add-ons can do, we tend to just kind of wall off sections of our UI and say add-ons can't touch this at all. But when it comes to things like nameplates or unit frames and the like, that would have been an unacceptable approach here because that aesthetic customization is so essential. So there's a brand new system that's been created where essentially pieces of information about what's going on in combat are put in a black box. And add-ons can paint that box pink or yellow or green or make it bigger or smaller, but what they can't do is know exactly what's inside the box and use that to drive logic. In addition to that, the new UI functionality that we're adding, whether it's improved nameplates or whatever, have extensive customizations in terms of size, shape, location, aesthetic, all of the edit mode functionality, and more. But we have no intent of pulling back in any way from the aesthetic customization that add-ons have always offered.
Cutting to the chase, Felfer on the WoW forums asked, does this mean that existing add-ons like Deadly Boss Mods, Plater, or Details are going to break?
They will change significantly. I think certainly, day one, if you're logging into alpha and you try to enable them, I do not believe they will work due to changes in the API, but that's standard for any new expansion release. We are inviting the authors of a vast range of add-ons into our first week of alpha, so that's going to be coming up in just the next few days, to get their hands on these changes, to give us feedback about how we can better support their ongoing development. But yes, when it comes to the specific ability to read and process combat information and use that to drive logic, that is going to be changing, and that will affect those add-ons.
Okay, give me one more. This comes from Herrix on the WoW forums. Herrix said, what are the plans regarding improvements to the default raid frames? In the effort to reduce the need for add-ons, raid frames are a major pain point for healers, where the default Blizzard raid frames are basically unusable without at least some external modification.
So
None.
yeah, we also have improvements coming to raid
Okay.
frames, definitely with healers in mind. If you're, let's say, a Resto Druid who wants to be able to see all of your HOTS on a target, that's something that we agree is very important and needs to be baked into the default functionality. Same with encounter designers calling out major buffs and debuffs and things that you need to know in an encounter, whether you're a healer or just a raid leader wanting to keep tabs on the state of the encounter that way. And of course, as mentioned earlier, add-ons will still be able to customize the look and the feel and the size and the overall presentation of raid frames. There just won't be certain functionality that is driving logic based on whether you happen to have a certain debuff or not, but all the rest should still be available.
Okay.
Chow on Blue Sky has a couple of questions. Given the connection to the Army of Light, the Sunwell and Blood Elves in general being their main rival in the Burning Crusade, will we see Draenei play any sort of role? Also, will Quel'Thalas be, with Quel'Thalas being part of the main world now, will there be any updates to Forsaken Lands?
So the Draenei, obviously will be part of the fight, part of the battle that we're waging against the Void. But this chapter is focused on the Blood Elves and the Blood Elves struggle with some trolls, and we're gonna really be leaning in there more than we are with the Draenei. Opportunities, will come up for the Draenei to have their moment in the light, as it were.
Yeah, and as it goes for changes to Forsaken Lands, well, there's some minor changes as we've added Quel'Thalas and Zul'Aman into the main body of the Eastern Kingdoms to connect them in. So there's a tunnel in the Forsaken Lands that does connect it in. We are going to see some Forsaken characters as well. We're actually going to be working with a little bit of a deep cut, but Alonsis Fowl, the Archpriest, is going to be a character who appears and has a couple interesting interactions and chats with Eretor and Liadrin and others. So we're going to continue to build out Forsaken story as we continue.
Yeah, I think looking at
It's very minimal, though.
how this is playing out and will continue to, I think we're very excited by some of the reception we've heard from Gamescom onwards about the changes to Silvermoon, Eversong, and more. Honestly, there was a bit of anxiety internally about the idea of revisiting an old location as for one of our zones, whether some players would view that as somehow lesser than coming up with a brand new place.
I mean,
But I think
this
as people,
hasn't
see
been
this
touched
full
in
splendor of Silvermoon,
15
get a chance
years,
to
so who
revisit
cares?
Eversong and
Just
what's
do it.
come all these years later. I think the excitement around that really excites us too, because we'd love to be able to tell more new stories in some of the iconic locations that resonate throughout everyone's fandom of Warcraft and what Azeroth is about. And so that will mean updating those locations, and I think that's something that we're excited to do more of as we look forward. Of course, The Last Titan will see us going back to Northrend, so that'll be a story for another day.
I think we for sure discovered that we can tell different stories when we go to old places and see how characters have changed, see how the spaces have changed. It's been a really cool opportunity to do that in Midnight.
Let's shift to some class talk. Faxia on Reddit asked, are you planning on adding any new specs that can tank or heal for existing classes?
Not right now in Midnight. I think Devourer, Demon Hunter, and that new range DPS spec for them is our focus right now. But I think we've seen, whether it's this or whether it's augmentation, there is excitement around the idea of established classes getting new specs. And so that is something I think we are likely to explore as we look
Mage, tank, looking forward to it.
Zerotics on Reddit asked, throughout the War Within, some classes and specs received visual updates, and as a monk player, the update to Vivify was very appreciated. Are there any other classes or specs that can be revealed to be getting updated visuals in Midnight?
Yeah, there's a couple really cool Apex talents. So Apex talents are the new talents you'll be able to learn at the bottom of your spec tree, and a lot of these have some fantastic visuals. Ones that jump out to me are the augmentation, where you summon a bronze dragon version of yourself from the future to fight alongside you for a little bit. The Frost Mage one as well, you summon a Hand of Frost that chases down your target and attack them. And so these are some of the new abilities that are going to get some new custom
That
visuals.
doesn't sound
as far
so
as, like,
awesome.
looking back at older visuals, as was the case with Vivify, this is something that we tend to do as we continue to build smaller patches. Most of our efforts for Midnight was building all the new stuff, but then as we continue building out the game, we look to the future. This is where we look back at, as we did with Vivify, find abilities where we can raise the floor and say, like, okay, this one has aged not as gracefully as the rest of our visuals, and we can bring it up to par with the rest.
Following that, we found a question from Nihenna on the German forums, and Nihenna asked, will the void/light topic be picked up in any additional class specs in the future? For example, Sunwell effects for a Holy Paladin, or perhaps void powers for a Warlock?
I don't know about Void Warlocks quite yet, but we do have a existing Void themed spec, the Shadow Priest, my beloved Shadow Priest, which has a new ability, Tentacle Slam, which replaces Shadow Crash, and it is a giant voidy tentacle that slams down in a line in front of you and has a similar AoE component, but a lot more of a classic voidy Shadow Priest idea to it. We also have one of our Apex talents, the Discipline Priest, has Void Shield, which replaces your Power Word Shield with a Void-themed shield. So there are places where the Void and Light are leaking into our class design.
Okay.
Going back to the support roles, Neo Saro on the EU Spanish forums asked, can we expect anything new regarding the support role in Midnight? Will it be expanded to other classes? Is it considered that it maybe didn't work as expected for augmentation, and perhaps that just becomes a normal damage or healer?
So we're not planning on currently expanding it to other classes, but we're also not planning on changing augmentation to just fit into the existing niches. I think there's a lot of excitement around the idea of support. I think we've seen players embrace that fantasy. I think we are still iterating on evolving that specialization and getting to a place where we can find a happy medium, where it can kind of realize that fantasy and be effective as someone who bolsters the strength of your allies without also becoming so effective that it feels required in groups and kind of limits composition diversity. I think if we're able to achieve that, hopefully when we're able to achieve that, I do think we would like to look to what other ideas might apply a different fantasy to executing that concept.
I want to switch to the topic of delves. The WoW content creator True Villain Manny said, with delves integrated into the story, will there be certain scenarios that are locked in as we level? And will there be additional story in those alternative scenarios with delves?
Yeah, as we move through the campaign in Midnight, we will be entering delves with specific goals in mind, and that particular variant of the story will have the objectives that we need to accomplish as we go through them. As always, our delves will have multiple variants to play through with different stories occurring. So yes, we will continue to use delves in this way, and look for opportunities to continue to build quest content that enters delves.
So let's go inside. Varteris on the WoW forums
Q&A
said,
is a
will
bit.
delves have even greater variety than in the War Within? Maybe a randomized puzzle to solve, a race, a whole new set of abilities?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that delves are changing. We have a new follower, Valera Sanguinara, is going to come along, and she's going to mix things up. She's takes delves a little bit more seriously than Brand does.
Thank
and a
you.
lot more stabbily as
Thank
well.
you.
We also have some outdoor delves that are going to take place in outdoor spaces, and so this will just change up not only the vibe of the space, but your ability to move around, because you'll be able to use your ground mounts to get around. We're also just taking a look at the mechanics that we're using in delves in Midnight. So you can announce now that Midnight does not have any underwater delves. It also does not have any delves
Thank
with the
fucking
mechanic where you
God.
have to say pick up a candle or a totem and throw it ahead and continue doing that on a continued basis. Folks, let us know how they felt about those, and we're not gonna move
Fucking
forward with
awful.
those designs in
So Relentless on the EU Spanish forums asked a version of a question we got a lot. And Ian, what's stopping the World of Warcraft development team from doing a world revamp? Could we get a world revamp?
I mean, I
Time,
think,
resources,
the idea of
money.
revamping everything at once is a terrifying one, frankly. But I think, as touched on earlier, we definitely want to tell new stories in iconic locations, and in doing that, we would certainly do much more than just do a fresh coat of paint on the area. We would really reimagine it and bring it into the present day as we have with Eversong.
After Last
Our
Titan.
current focus is, of course,
WoW
on the story that
2.
we're telling
I
for
think
us
we are
with
at
Soul
WoW
Saga.
4 now,
That
but
will touch
after
on
Last
some
Titan,
familiar
I think we will
locations,
have.
But down the line, I think the
An
lessons
update.
we are learning and the experiences we're having, revisiting some locations, open the door to doing a lot more of it.
Saw a very upvoted question from Solera, a French WoW player on X. Solera asked, without giving away spoilers, very important,
Okay.
does Midnight introduce any completely new elven tribes or expand on lesser known ones? Maybe the Kelderai?
Without
No.
spoilers.
Without spoilers.
That's a tough constraint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's right.
I don't think it's spoilery to say we're going to be learning a lot about the elves and the elves' relationships with one another, and that would include Quel'Drai.
Thank you. And Zoris on the EU Spanish forums asked, with the Devourer specialization, all Demon Hunter abilities will use void effects and icons, even those shared by all three specializations. Has there been any consideration of extending this aesthetic customization to other classes?
So I think philosophically and narratively, what a Void Demon Hunter represents, what a Devourer Demon Hunter represents, is one who, rather than harnessing and channeling fel energy, is channeling void energy to turn it against those who originally wielded it. And so that is going to transform a wide range of their abilities. On the other hand, when we look at, let's say, a Fire Mage or a Frost Mage, they're not forsaking the arcane when they become a Fire Mage. And so Blink is still an arcane
Well, actually,
spell,
I'm
Counterspell-
forsaking the
Counterspell
arcane
is
because
still an
fuck
arcane
arcane.
spell and so forth. And so I think when we look at other classes, we generally
I'm
like
gonna
to
play look at
Arcane
Arcane as a
broad
Fire
base
Mage.
of multiple, areas of
Give me
focus.
Fire
And just
Arcane,
because
I
you
don't care.
specialize in one thing doesn't mean that transforms all of the others. That said, touching on some earlier questions, when it comes to glyph spell customizations and other things that players may want to customize the look and feel of their abilities, there's always an opportunity there.
Another highly upvoted question all over the place. I'll take the version of this question from Navarel on the EU German forums. Would you consider replacing the ready-made group in follower dungeons with characters from the player's warband?
This could be
Definitely
good.
something we are considering. Not something we're going to be able to deliver for Midnight, but ever since the introduction of both warbands and follower dungeons, this idea,
Soon,
this request
TM.
has popped up. It's something that we're excited about internally as well. There's some technical hurdles to kind of pull that information down in real time and make it work, but it's something we do want to deliver down the line.
Ian's not lying about technical hurdles. There were multiple
Yeah.
technical hurdles in the way. We're actually jumping over one of them with Training Grounds, where we're changing the way that some of those game-controlled characters or bots are built. To be building Training Grounds in this way gets us one hurdle closer to being able to do what you're asking.
Okay, at least there's
There are
progress.
so many people on this development team that I would call technical hurdlers. Engineers, that's just what they do. They jump over hurdles.
There's progress in the right direction. That's good.
Maria,
At least they're talking and thinking
Silo
about
on
it.
the WoW forums asked, will there be new mini-game type quests in Midnight?
Yes, there will be. We actually have a new mechanic that was created for Zulaman specifically, where you will do some, underwater stuff.
Oh, fuck
but
off.
It's quite fun. It's the Amani Abyss style. You're gonna be going fishing troll style.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a revelation. I like that.
I don't like
While we're
the
revealing
underwater delve was fucking awful.
Russellton on the WoW forums asked, I'm extremely excited for the Heronir. Can you share more information on their druid forms?
Well, conveniently, if you watched the deep dive, you saw a flash of those. Fundamentally, they all have quills to throw back to sort of the Heronir, but the tank form is a pangolin bear with sort of bat-like ears.
We all sort of got those ears.
Yeah, they
right?
got the ears and the quills, and we have a wolverine for our feral spec. We have an quilled owl-like sort of boomkin. But best of all has got to be the swimming form, the swimming travel form, which is an axolotl.
Axolotl.
With quills.
We're all going to
That's
learn how
cool.
to say axolotl.
Yeah,
It's-
I
I mean,
probably said it wrong. But
I'm not gonna
I-
use
no, I
it
think you got it
because I
right.
don't really play
Okay.
Druid. I'm not gonna do a Heronir.
The reveal of
Probably.
the Heronir led to a very common question. And a version of that question that I want to ask you came from Racktoner on Reddit. Can you explain the decision-making process for which races to make playable races?
Yeah.
If
a
they
lot of
say
it comes
story-
down to narrative. There's no secret that we started talking to the Heronir in the War Within, and this was not a coincidence either. We wanted to build a familiarity with
Paul,
Owain and with her crew, so you understand who these
We've been
characters
talking
are.
to
When
a lot of
they
races
become
for a long
playable
time,
characters,
and
as we
they're
got
not
it, that's
playable.
Midnight. And of course,
Tusker.
Midnight is part of a 3-chapter
The-
saga. We're in the middle.
the
chapter
other
now. The
cows
Heronir are
from-
going to be a big, important part of this story, and this is why we chose to,
The big,
to fold them.
I don't know.
I feel bad often
From the
being
Timeless
bearer
Isles
of bad news
stuff.
in these conversations, but
And-
I know that it's not lost on us that there are widespread requests from players who would love to be
Ogre.
a Sethrak or an Ethereal or the like. And part of the question there is, as Paul said, narratively, like, does it make sense for this faction to really join the Alliance and Horde if there's, if they're cosmic, extraplanar, or more neutral by nature? But the reality of it is also, from a production perspective, one of the things we grapple with is that adding a brand new race to World of Warcraft is one of the most development intensive things we can do, not just in one-time time commitment, but also in the long-term carrying cost for every set of armor we ever make for years and years to follow. And it's something that we have to weigh very, very heavily when we do. Building a race that uses or shares an existing rig, an existing skeleton, if it's an Elven
never gonna
race
get
or the
Ogre.
like, makes that more straightforward. Again, that's not to say we're never going to add very novel or meaningfully different races down the line, but it's a very high bar for us to clear when we look at how much ultimately it's going to mean that we have to do less of in other places
Give
forever
me
in order to
Ogre.
support this additional race alongside the others.
Give Ogre.
As I've said to you before, I want Saberon. I will wait. I will be patient.
I will not be
Give
patient.
me Saberon.
I want Ogre.
So, Massive Bear on the WoW forums asked, will Heronir be unlockable in the 3 days of early access? I remember Earthen were not.
No, not during the first 3 days. So during that early access, we want to make sure that we're letting players who are in that early access be able to play through the campaign and understand, what's going on, but not getting any meaningful jumps ahead of anyone else who does not have that early access.
Meredith on the WoW forums asked, how is Blizzard progressing in the war against toxicity in terms of the entire game?
Yeah, and this is something that's
The
a
fuck
huge
is this
focus
question?
for us, and really, there's many facets to the question and the discussion.
It's
I think when
it's a
people
never-ending
say
fight.
toxicity, there's a few different meanings, perhaps, or things that they're referring to. Some of it is just the overt, hostile, harmful, antagonistic interactions that may occur online between players. We're always continuing to shore up our reporting tools, improve real-time monitoring, and get to a place where people who are disrupting our game world can be punished and ultimately removed from it if they continue to do that. On the other hand, though, I think sometimes when people talk about a community or a portion of the game feeling toxic, that can arise from just mismatched expectations. Like, if I am listing a group and I'm trying to run a raid, and I have done that raid 12 times, and I have been through groups
we
that
have
have
stuff to
wiped
look
and
at.
learned the encounters,
We have stuff
it's
to look
reasonable
at.
for me, as a leader of a pug, to only want players who have a certain level of experience, who have also been through those learning wipes, and can succeed
Oh
quickly.
yes.
And so someone who is
I
looking
hope
to
this is
learn
retroactive.
may feel like,
Okay.
oh, this is very unwelcoming,
Let's
this is
look
kind of
at-
toxic, why aren't we, why am I not welcome here? And ultimately, that's an issue of aligning expectations. And I think there's a lot more that we can do on the pro-social side of things to help people find like-minded players and like-minded groups. There's nothing wrong with wanting to complete something quickly and efficiently. There's also very certainly nothing wrong
Okay.
with wanting to learn. And wanting
Wowhead
a
has
patient group.
data mined
Now, if you mix those two
shit.
groups,
a lot of shit.
there are going to be some conflicts that emerge.
They're gonna be.
naturally
I don't
because
see
of
the
different
Apex
goals and
talents in this, but
expectations. So I think a lot
they
of what we're focused on
looked
right now is
into
also how we can help players better
the-
connect with like-minded individuals so that they can
the
have
class
satisfying
talent
experiences
trees.
where everyone is on the same page, working towards the same goals.
Thank
but
you.
it's too early
I
to
want
even
to
look
rip
at
through
this.
some more housing questions. We've got
Doesn't
several.
even matter actually.
Will we get to see our alts walking about, or maybe sitting in a chair in our house? Paul?
Yeah, this is, we're looking at a lot of the same technical hurdles we talked about earlier, not only with being able to show players and other players in game, but also the pathing issues that Ian mentioned when it comes to being able to have your pets moving around and mounts moving around and whatnot.
Soon
So
TM
not
maybe
planned yet, but something we can
future.
talk about as a potential for the future. And I'll take this moment to say that like housing is one of those features which is really exciting for us because there are so many cool ways for it to grow. As we've built Midnight and we're sharing housing for the first time, we're going to be looking to you to tell us, what do you want? Is it that we want to see our house? Do we want more features? Do we want more decor? Do we want
I guess they're gonna
more ways
do
that I
6
can
more
style
minutes
the
and then they're gonna
interior,
stop.
exterior of my house.
That
So,
would be my
let
guess.
us know as you continue playing.
Yeah, I mean, philosophically, with a feature the size of housing, this is something we've been working on for a very long time to really deliver what players, have been expecting and what they deserve. But there comes a point when we're developing, especially a social feature, where we're almost hesitant to take it too far until we can actually share it with the community and understand what people are into, what they're maybe not into so much, what they want more of, what they don't need more of, to make sure that we're really putting our time and our resources in the places that are going to maximize.
I'm gonna
that
talk
value
about this
for
after.
players. And so
But
we're so
I have-
excited to see people
I have
jump
a
in
long-term
the
wish for
months ahead in
housing.
alpha and beta, of course, and then beginning this December on the live servers, and see where it goes from there.
So here's a very specific question from Alastril on the WoW forums. For housing and professions, it was stated that professions through all expansions will be able to craft housing items. Will we be able to use this as a skill catch-up for the past expansions? For example, could a leather worker start at Wrath Leatherworking Skill 1 and craft Wrath-themed housing items to get all the way to level 75?
I mean, these will give skill ups for sure. Yeah, I don't know how many of them will be available at level 1, for example. They may be tuned based on how elaborate the piece of decor is, but in general, yeah, once you get the level that you're able to build these things, then you continue to use them to level up.
So many very specific requests. I want to just give you this one. It comes from Spera on the WoW forums. Is it possible to add a functional bookshelf to player housing that could store and display
Steamy Romance
collected
moments?
in-game books? I have a lot of those.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. That like
Yeah.
once you share housing with the world, then 1,000 cool ideas come out, and so we'll start gathering up all these cool ideas and say, what do we do
There's
next?
gonna be a
I
goon
can
cave
confirm there will be
where
bookshelves.
someone puts
Whether
all
those
their
bookshelves
Steamy
will
Romance
be,
models
functional, no, not at least to start,
with,
but this is a really
I don't
cool
know, a
idea
portrait
that
of
we're
Zalatath or
gonna,
something.
take back to the team.
And a couple more. Ian, Devanir on Reddit wrote, what is the minimum player limit for a private or guild neighborhood? What happens if you make a private neighborhood with the minimum amount of people and then some of them go away?
So this is something that's still a bit in flux. I think our current thinking is that just like signing a guild charter, you'll need 10 players to charter a private neighborhood. And that's for a couple of reasons. Part of it is, in order for neighborhood systems, endeavors to really function optimally, there's a certain number of players that are going to be expected to really drive the system. But also a piece of it is just server performance. Using an extreme example, if literally every single player online had their own personal neighborhoods, that would be potentially millions of simultaneous entire districts that need to get spun up, trying to make sure the servers don't melt here. And so striking a balance between what's going to be a good social experience, but also recognizing
I have no
players
expectations
have
regarding
groups
this
of various
because
sizes, and we want to be as flexible
I know how
as
servers
possible.
behave
I
and
think if we're
they
able
can
to
do
lower
whatever
that
they
number
want to
from
make
where
it
we're
run
starting,
smoothly.
It's something we would aim to do as we see how the tech side of it unfolds.
Yeah.
I saw an upvoted question on Reddit from a player named Backstabbeth, and this is a question I have myself.
Fairly a trustworthy.
Rock
fellow.
rework.
Very much. Will there be a list of collections and their sources for housing materials before housing goes live so that we can begin to start hunting for those items, maybe reputation, achievement requirements? I'd love to know what I already have or what I'm close to having.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of that is going to be visible in the alpha build coming up in just a day, but we'll have a blog summarizing it, so you don't need to, go trawling for the information, and that way everyone can get a head start on checking off those achievements that you may have missed.
That's good.
Let's come back to a couple of fun questions before we go here. Bale Samel on the WoW forums asked, are we getting a capybara Loa? There are capybaras in the Yamani screenshots. The people yearn for a capybara Loa.
Well, conveniently, there is one.
Huh?
His name is Philo. The capybara Loa of children.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cute.
And I hope he has a prominent head.
Children's
Absolutely,
rework.
and a glorious necklace.
That's perfect. Loa's should be very well outfitted, I think. Finnerfin on the WoW forums asks,
Finarfin.
could we see the return of class quest lines? Legion was great, and it was fun to have a unique experience.
Can we get
questing
faction
on alts.
quest lines,
Yeah,
please?
class quest lines come up really often as something people are excited about.
I want
we
faction quest lines.
Certainly do want to look more at
Fuck
you know,
classes,
expanding on
faction.
classes. We had a lot of fun doing the Warlock one, for example, not too long ago. But most recently, the best way for you to play some class quest lines, if you never played them, has to do with our lore walking, because where we had restrictions, for example, on the
Okay,
Xal'atath,
yeah, with Xal'atath you do the
story,
Shadow Priest.
previously, a lot
Legion
of people
thing.
didn't know anything about Xal'atath and the knife. And
Xalitos.
by playing that lore walking, they had the opportunity to play that portion of the priest quest line. So we're hoping that as we build more lore walking, you'll have that opportunity to see some of that. But this is certainly an area that the quest and narrative team would be thrilled to do more of.
Good. It's our last question. And I cobbled this together from versions of this question that I found everywhere. I want to give a shout out to some of the people that I borrowed this from. Aziriel, Simplejack, Martian, Zuburius on our forums all asked versions of this. Ian, how will player power progression be updated in Midnight, especially regarding Valor Stones?
So yes,
I
the
asked this
upgrade
as well.
system's played out over the last couple of expansions. I think we're
Remove
happy
them.
with the sort of granular incremental progression that complements that spiky randomness of loot drops. But there is, and we agree with player feedback that we've heard, potentially one too many moving pieces and a bit too much complexity in the current system. So I can announce that Valor Stones as a currency will be
Yes!
going away in Midnight.
Fuck them.
You're already
Don't
needing to
replace
gather
them.
the crests that you need, and that should be sufficient. We're also looking to streamline the system a little bit and more clearly pair individual crest tiers with appropriate gear upgrade tracks, so that there's potentially less confusion about what crest matches to what.
Anything further, Paul?
No, I think that's great. Yeah, yeah. Super excited.
We're over here pumping fists.
Yes, absolutely.
Very excited.
Rip Valor Stones.
Well,
Fuck Valorstones.
that's our time. Thank you, Ian, Paul, Maria. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you to everyone watching along. We've got Midnight Alpha testing starting very soon. We can't wait to see you there.
Am I invited
and
yet?
welcome you home.
It's Nope. Okay. Quick updates on news items. All talent trees have been update data mined, but it's alpha. Who cares? It's literally subject to immediate change. And now this change. If you collect a mythic version of a set in a raid, you get all the lower ones. So no longer you have to farm LFR or normal or heroic to get a set if you do like reactive farming. So that's awesome. That's good. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy with this. It was an okay Q&A. As always, questions that I do not care for, but you know, other people will. So yeah, good one. Liked it. Yeah. Let's look forward to the next one and some alpha stuff tomorrow probably. So not from me, but from other people. Let's look forward to that. Bye bye guys. Choo choo.